In the dark interior of the hive, something extraordinary is happening. One bee has just returned from a nectar-gathering expedition, but she didn't just bring food. She brought information that could determine the survival of the entire colony. And to share it, she starts to dance. This is not a metaphor. Bees really do dance, and their dance is one of the most fascinating communication systems in the entire animal kingdom. For centuries, people observed bees and wondered how these insects could find food so efficiently. The answer came in the 1920s. Austrian biologist Karl von Frisch discovered that bees communicate through dance. For this discovery, he received the Nobel Prize in 1973, the Nobel Prize, for watching dancing bees. That shows how groundbreaking this discovery was. Von Frisch proved that the bee dance is not random movement. It's a precise language that conveys exact coordinates of a food source. Von Frisch spent decades in patient observation, marking individual bees with tiny paint dots and watching them through glass-sided observation hives. He noticed that when a forager returned from a rich food source, other bees would cluster around her and then fly directly to the same location. He realized the returning bee was communicating something specific. The question was how. His breakthrough came when he understood that the direction and duration of the straight run in the dance encoded real geographic information. It was one of the most elegant discoveries in the history of biology. What made the discovery even more remarkable was the resistance it initially faced. Many scientists refused to believe that an insect could communicate abstract information about direction and distance. The idea seemed too sophisticated for a creature with such a tiny brain. Von Frisch spent years accumulating evidence before the scientific community accepted his findings. When the Nobel Committee finally recognized his work in 1973, he shared the prize with Konrad Lorenz and Nicholas Tinbergen, a recognition that the study of animal behavior had become one of the most important frontiers in biology. How exactly does this remarkable dance work? Imagine a honeycomb in a dark hive. A forager bee enters the comb and begins tracing a figure-8 shape. In the middle section of the 8, she moves in a straight line, vigorously vibrating her abdomen. This is the waggle, the vibration that gives the dance its name. And here's the most fascinating part. The angle at which the bee performs the straight line relative to vertical indicates the direction to the food source relative to the sun. And the duration of the waggle run indicates the distance. 1 second of waggling equals roughly 1 kilometer. A bee in darkness on a vertical comb transmits precise coordinates accurate to within a few meters. But that's not all. The bee dance is even more sophisticated than it might seem. Bees account for the movement of the sun. The sun moves across the sky, and bees automatically correct the angle of their dance to keep the directions current. Moreover, the intensity of the dance communicates the quality of the food. The more energetic the dance, the better the nectar source. Bees watching the dance can compare several different proposals and choose the best one. It's like a stock exchange of information, where each dancer advertises her discovery. And most fascinatingly, different bee species have different dance dialects. Just as humans speak different languages, bees dance in different dialects. There's also a remarkable feedback mechanism. If a bee dances for a location and no one follows her, she may stop dancing. But if many bees follow and return enthusiastically, she dances even more vigorously. The dance is not a monologue, it's a conversation. Scientists have also discovered that bees can inhibit each other's dances. If a scout has found a dangerous location, near a predator or a pesticide-treated field, other bees can headbutt her to stop the dance. This stop signal prevents the colony from sending foragers into danger. The hive has a built-in fact-checking system. The precision of the waggle dance is extraordinary. Experiments in which researchers placed food sources at known distances and directions found that bees following the dance arrived within meters of the target. In one famous study, a food source was placed on a boat in the middle of a lake. Bees danced for it, but no bees arrived, because the dance indicated a location over water, and bees instinctively know that flowers don't grow on open water. They trusted the dance's direction but applied their own ecological knowledge to filter the result. The dance is not blindly followed, it is interpreted. The waggle dance is not the only dance in the bee repertoire. When a food source is close, less than 50 meters from the hive, the bee performs a round dance, a simple circle that says, "Food is right nearby." There's also the tremble dance. A bee performs it when she returns with such an abundant load that she needs help unloading. It's like calling out, "I need extra hands." And the stop signal. A bee vibrates her head while touching another bee, as if saying, "Don't go there, it's dangerous." Each of these dances evolved to solve a specific communication problem. Together, they form a rich vocabulary that allows the colony to coordinate its foraging efforts with remarkable precision. No other insect has developed anything remotely comparable. Dance is only part of the rich language of bees. Bees also communicate through pheromones, chemical signals that act like invisible messages. The queen releases pheromones that inform the entire hive that she is healthy and present. When a bee is attacked, she releases an alarm pheromone that immediately mobilizes the defenders. But there's something more. Bees produce sounds. Wing vibrations create signals that other bees receive through their legs. Yes, through their legs. Bees listen with their feet. Antenna touching, food exchange, temperature regulation. The hive is a constant hum of communication. When we combine all these forms of communication, dance, pheromones, sounds, touch, a remarkable picture emerges. A bee colony functions as a single organism. Scientists call this a superorganism. 50,000 bees, each with its own task, make decisions collectively, without a leader, without central command. The queen doesn't issue orders, she lays eggs. Decisions are made democratically, through the exchange of information between thousands of bees. This is a system that has worked for millions of years, and one that inspires today's scientists to create algorithms and artificial intelligence. The concept of swarm intelligence, derived from studying bees and other social insects, has transformed computer science. Algorithms modeled on bee foraging behavior are used to optimize delivery routes, design telecommunications networks, and train machine learning systems. The collective wisdom of 50,000 bees, each knowing only a tiny piece of the puzzle, produces outcomes that no single bee could achieve alone. It is, in every sense, greater than the sum of its parts. The bee dance is more than a natural curiosity. It's proof that intelligence doesn't require a large brain. That communication can take forms we never even dreamed of. The next time you see a bee, think that perhaps she's just returning from a mission. And in a moment, she'll start dancing to tell her sisters what she discovered. If the world of bees fascinates you, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to Hive Mind so you don't miss the next episodes. See you in the next one.